I am again in front of the Russian Historical Museum. And this museum is very famous. I've been through it with Barbara from top to bottom, and it's got an enormous amount of history. Fascinating, showing going back 1,000, 2,000 years, showing how Russia has evolved right up to the 20th century. You can learn more in this museum than you can in weeks and months of study and moving around. Now let me show you one of the most incredible buildings of all. It's called the Kremlin. Now the word Kremlin comes from the word Kreml, and that means wall. That means walled fortress. And this, inside the Kremlin, is where the government of Russia is. This is where all the top decisions are made. During the communist days, this was again one of the most feared places, the Kremlin, because the whole Russian world was governed from this. We're in, by the way, Red Square. Everything you see around here is part of what is called Red Square, which is the center of Moscow. And as we move around a little bit, you can see way in the back, you can see St. Basil's Cathedral. This is one of the most beautiful cathedrals in the world. And it was made by European artisans. And at the end of the creation, they were asked, has there ever been a more beautiful cathedral than this? And they said, no, this is the most beautiful at all. They brought European artists and workers and so on. He said, good. And the Tsar put out the eyes of all of the workers on this cathedral so they could never build another cathedral as beautiful as this. This is a real interesting country, and it has a very interesting history. And then as we go here, we turn on, we go to one of the most famous places in Moscow. It's called the Gum Department Store. And this gum department store used to be private for what was called the nomenklatura, which were the elite of the Soviet Union. And they could go to beautiful stores in here and they could buy goods from all over the world with dollars. The poor people in Russia had to buy and stand in lines for 3 or 4 hours at a time to get bread and potatoes. But the nomenklatura could come across the street from the Kremlin and shop and buy all the most beautiful things, foods, clothing, furs, vodka, whiskey, anything they wanted from all over the world. So this is a very, very famous part of the world here in Times Square. Maybe Andrew will just do a sweep across the gum department store and just show you the size of the building. Go ahead.